It's time!
What do you guys want to talk about?
Are you ready for some football? All right, here we go again with the AFC East Shakedown. Supposed to have Kev. I thought we weren't supposed to have Trevor. Now we got Trevor. We don't got Kev. It's the three of us, the three amigos, ready to talk some AFC East football talk. So, Trevor, glad you're here. Kev's not here. He'll be here next week. So, guys, there's a pretty interesting week that just passed, especially for my man Tommy, with probably with the most epic bye week in the history of bye weeks. And then you went to your first Patriot game, and man, that was a blast. You guys lit it up. So we got some good talk. How's everybody doing? Scott, man, good to see you. Where you going there? Hey, Scott. That was all Kev. Kev set that up, man. I told him exactly what to do, and he just listened to me, of course. Ricardo, what's going on, man? We were on time.
That's right.
LaFama, man, what's going on? How you all doing tonight? So, all right, let's get into it first. I remember going to my first Dolphins game. It was a preseason game at the Orange Bowl. I was supposed to go to see Dan Marino. I missed Dan Marino because my guy driving me there was a lazy bum. So I missed Dan Marino in my preseason game, and that was a bit of a letdown. So, Trevor, tell us about your trip with Juan to see that.
It was fun. It was definitely fun. It was definitely fun. We went to the Hall of Fame, the Patriots Hall of Fame. It was a great time. A lot of the history there, I was like, wow, like I literally grew up with the stadium as well, especially from away from home. And actually being there, it was so like breathtaking. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I go to Patriot games, but a lot of the road games. But to be at Gillette for the first time was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. You know, the fans were fun. Everybody was liquored up, and thank goodness that everybody was liquored up because of that. It had to be last Sunday. It was still didn't score any points, but you know what? I had a great time though. Had a great time. The atmosphere, even though it was like half empty, it felt like apparently this is pre-1994 for the Patriots now. So it was like I had a great time. I had an excellent time. I loved it. I'll definitely do it again. Even though they suck, but I'll definitely go back.
That's awesome. Curtis said you guys picked you guys in that game, I think. Or he had you scoring decent.
No, I said you were going to lose, but I thought it was going to be like
20 points or something.
Yeah.
I thought are you insane, Curtis?
I'm insane. I don't understand how you don't score any points.
I did think you were.
But I knew they were going to lose
this season. That's twice this season he scored any points. Well, that sucks.
That is crazy. I was like, oh, yeah. Well, of course I'd be nervous. But you know what? Honestly, Scott, I actually don't. I would love the Bills and the Dolphins to have it all on the line in that week 18, winner take all. I think it would be intense. Of course, I'd love it if we win. If we don't, I'd hate it very much. But I think that'd be cool. So yeah, I'd be a little nervous. I cannot.
By the way, that game's TBD. So
what's TBD, man? That's like futuristic talk.
Yeah, so to be discussed. So that it's not scheduled. So it's not on a Saturday or Sunday. So if that game did come down to the AFC East, I would assume they would make that probably a primetime game.
It would.
Yeah, that would be what an epic showdown that would be to finish the NFL season.
Oh, it would be. I mean, obviously I want my Dolphins just to cruise to a Super Bowl. I've never had a Super Bowl. But, if we get there and we have these epic battles, classic matchups, and win each one of them, it would make it more spicy and even better, So I want to see my team beat the best to be the best.
Didn't you? But you were a fan when Marino went the 1 year, no?
I saw two. Yeah, I saw 2 losses. The first one all I remember is like, what's this guy running for the touchdown? What, we lost? I didn't really understand football too much then. And then the next one, I'm like, we're gonna win it. I remember just crying. That's all brutal, I did.
Right?
Cry.
When you get there and you don't win, it's the worst, man.
Yeah, oh man, it was terrible. So whatever. We had a good one over here. Yeah, it's gotta be. If it's not a smackdown against the Titans, then I don't know. This is one of the few games this year that I struggled to find any way the Titans could win, and I still couldn't find any. I literally couldn't find. It doesn't. We'll get to that beatdown. So we'll start off. Trevor, tell us about what you thought about that epic defensive battle, 6-0 loss to the Chargers. Give us the lowdown.
All right. So game-wise, so my mindset going into this game was if the Chargers lose to the Patriots in any capacity, that Brennan State should be fired. The good thing is they didn't lose the game. They only scored 6 points, though. Now, imagine our defense is very depleted regardless, right? But the fact of the matter is in the last 4 games, they've been managed to – well, the last 5 games, actually, the defense has managed to only allow, 20 points a game. We had 20 points against Washington. We had 7 points against the Giants and 6 against 10 points against the Colts. No, yeah, it's pretty much 10 points a game in the last 4 games. I like how defense has been playing. I expected it to be very ugly because with the rain, it was very sloppy rain, especially in the weather was the weather, but and then it kind of hurt seeing Stevenson getting hurt. Unfortunately, he being out for a couple of weeks. That kind of hurt. Other than that, but other than that, it's just the same old. The offense. Our offense had very spurts of, hey, like Ezekiel Elliott played pretty decently. Then it didn't matter.
He's doing pretty good for you guys this year.
Yeah, I mean he's been pretty decent this year. I'm actually very surprised, especially in the Steelers game. But we'll get to that later. But overall, it's just the defense is holding us in the games, making us seem like we're competitive, but the offense is so bad. It's so bad. It's like, come on.
Zappy!
Yeah.
Zappy rising, man. Zappy rising.
He's terrible.
Time.
He's going to do just enough to get you that mid-level first-round pick that you guys have won so
Which
bad.
Which is true, though. Which is honestly very true because it's in the ways you probably think that, we're tanking, but we're actually trying to win these games. We just can't score any points. So it's we're kind of tanking, but it's we're losing. We're finding ways to lose games, which is ridiculous. The offense is so inept. But other than that, it was just it was not many highlights in that game, honestly, which is
no.
6 points. But then we managed to make Justin Herbert, who I like Justin Herbert, made him very average in that game. They didn't do much. I mean, you can't do anything with 6 points, but hey, the highlight of the game is the kicker, I guess. But other than that, it was just ugly. It was hard to watch.
Have you seen the new deal now? Have you noticed that the media is doing a new thing now? They're taking anybody who's not doing well and they're talking about them being abused. Now, Mac Jones has been broken and abused.
Oh my goodness.
What? Before I get into the rest of this stuff, what the heck is going on with sports media? It is becoming this.
It's unbearable now.
Oh, and
it's
but so you buy into it. It's just pathetic.
It's just these narratives. It's the narratives that they're trying to push. And when the narratives don't go their way, they try to backtrack. And it's like, well, we heard you say that. Like, what are you doing? Like for instance, the whole thing when they was completely burying Josh Allen. They was burying Josh Allen a couple of weeks ago for being a turnover machine. But Dak, though it's having a great season, a good season so far, turned the ball over just as much times. So no one said anything about Dak. They don't say anything about it is weird how they try to change the narrative. And then you have like these. It is annoying because even though, especially with these people that they actually like, try to make excuses for them. Like for instance, but Mac only had 3 years. 3 years he was here. Just they find ways to him to regress because he's not developing. You had technically three different offensive coordinators in 3 years. Technically, anybody can. I don't see anybody can succeed with that. But they only do that with people they actually like. You know what I'm saying? It is weird. Like. It's just, I don't know, just weird. I thought I was the only one that noticed it, but it's more and more apparent that
I think my personal opinion is that they're trying to appeal to a broader audience. They're trying to appeal to people who really don't even understand the game. When I was 8 years old, I was told to do nutcrackers. When I cried, the coach said, "You're going to quit." And I would just go back and do the nutcrackers. This whole like new wave of the way media's covering the game, the way they think coaches need. Everybody is like abused. This is football. I mean, could you imagine? It's a pseudo-militaristic environment. I am so sick of it. But they know they can access huge emotional clicks by making this crap up. It's disgusting. I'm so sick of it. It's abuse. They're making millions of dollars. What do you think people in like the pit in New York City on the stock market, they're being called and said about all these high-price brokers or wherever, any kind of big business? Do you think they're like, Johnny, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but listen, you totally lost us $2 million today. Try not to have that happen again. I mean, it's such a load of crap. I'm so sick of media. It's disgusting. And I just pray that the fans that watch this stuff just say, okay, yeah, I get it. There's certain levels, you have to identify with, hey, somebody got abused or it's too much. But, I find my Dolphin fans are like, look at Flores. He was so mean. And now look at McDaniel. Gee, Don Shula made guys cry on the sidelines. Zonka feared Shula and then learned to respect him. He was a nasty, cursing, hard disciplined guy, but that's the way football was. And now Mac Jones has been broken. I'm so tired of it. Anyway, I had to get off that. It's so annoying. It's just this weak, mamby-pamby. Everybody gets a prize. Bogusness that's now infiltrated NFL coverage. Anyway, get on to football. That was my thing. So, Tommy, what do you think about that awesome display of defense?
I think when I don't remember the score prediction, but I said the Patriots will hold them to a decent amount. I think I said 20 points, but damn, 6 points. Once again, Belichick, he does bring that defense every week pretty much. Now, he did have a couple games this year that weren't Belichick. But
Mac would throw 17 picks and 5 fumbles.
Doesn't help when your defense is on the Doesn't help when your defense is on the field a lot. But either way, that's what he brings to the table. I mean, that's what he's known for. He gets guys that are underrated to perform, very well. Guys that you never heard of. And that's what he does. But offensively, boy, rough, very rough.
Hey, but let's think about it this way, Tommy. There's only one way to go up, and they did with the Zappy Express.
Well, we're gonna get to that. That wasn't. Listen, I thought last year, and a lot of people were like, "Tommy loves Zappy." I think Zappy is better than Mac Jones slightly. I don't think it's a lot better, but I think he does bring a little bit of spark to the offense compared to Mac Jones.
But Zappy hasn't been broken yet. He hasn't been broken.
He hasn't been broken. But he's not the answer. Clearly, he's not the guy. I'm just saying for now, I think he's a better option moving forward this season. Now, the real question is, what will Belichick do in the offseason? What will the Patriots do with Belichick, one? And two, if Belichick sticks around, will he finally concentrate on the offense and get themselves a real quarterback, fix the O-line, get himself a better coordinator in there, really go ham on the offense? Because that's what it is. If that team had an offense similar to the Jets, they would be a very good team. And with this AFC East would be a slaughterhouse. It would be rough. But because the Jets and the Patriots both can't find their way on their offensive side of the ball, the Bills and Dolphins are going to continue to run the show until they can figure it out.
Well, at least the Dolphins will.
Hey, it doesn't listen. I think the Bills.
We know about the Bills, man.
The Bills offense. The Bills. Hey, Curtis, you talk it. Remember the 48-20. You could get your violin out.
Hey, man.
Let's not go too deep.
I don't remember that. I lost the season to the Bills. I don't remember. I got a very short-term memory.
Very short-term. Listen, we may be on a weird. I think we're just having a funky season, which we'll get to. But we're actually playing pretty decent ball. It's the thing with the Bills this year is we can't close the show when we have the opportunity, and that's the problem with us that compared to years past. So anyways, we'll get to.
Hold on. So Mob Rule has a take here. Do you think? Okay, so. And I think it's a fair point, and it's something I even said. I said, I like Flores. I don't think he was a great coach, and I thought that too was being kind of pressed by Ross. Ross was looking for Watson. Ross was looking for Brady. He had the media down on. I think Flores need to understand that, hey, this particular guy, he's your quarterback. That hard love might not have been what he needs. Maybe some of the midway style. And so maybe there's a place for being able to have multiple tools in your toolkit to be a head coach. So would you say that Mob Rule might be right, that maybe the modern player?
I don't, because you got coaches like the Seattle coach. God, I'm losing my mind. Carroll, who's like what, in his 70s, something like that. Like, he's old, man. And
yeah, but he's a nice guy coach.
I'm just saying, he said old coaches. He just particularly. I get. He said.
Well, I think he meant old school style. He couldn't relate to that. Maybe like.
Regardless, I'm just saying. So old school style. I don't know. I don't know about that, because Belichick won Super Bowls, and there was clearly young players. A very young Tom Brady, who was drafted in the 6th round, who he trusted enough to take over and keep as quarterback. When Drew Bledsoe got healthy, he could have made the switch and went back. If he had an old school mentality, he was like, "Oh, like Drew Bledsoe is old school," like. Yeah, we need a pocket. Like, he stuck with Brady, and they won Super Bowls. He also had Gronk. So I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, do you think that Andy Reid has an old school, new school, or middle of the road style? Because you see him the other day when Kelsey dropped the football. He's like,
but he's, you know what though? He's also an offensive minded head coach, and I will say this: I think the NFL is starting to lean more towards offensive-minded head coaches, because they have that relationship with their quarterback, which is a key thing. I really, truly believe that. So, yes, maybe to a degree, this is where Belichick's starting to fall off as a head coach, and a lot of defensive coordinator.
And maybe even just that style of coaching that he's passed on to his guys.
That defensive-minded, that traditional football, maybe that mindset is still with him, and he thinks he could continue to win that way, and it's not. You got to adapt as the game goes on. So maybe.
What do you think, Trevor? You think Bill? You agree with Tommy? What's your take on Bill?
I mean, you know how you say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but at the same, I think that's where we are right now, because I would think, where Pete Carroll is concerned, much older, but at the same time, he was able to adapt to what today is.
Yeah, exactly.
Belichick, unfortunately, is stuck in 2001.
I think that.
And not only with coaching philosophies, it's mostly like team building. The same way he was able to get away with getting players on the cheap, you can't do that anymore. People aren't going for that anymore. The players' values have changed over the years. Some people value money more than more than winning, and that's okay at the end of the day. But I feel like he's still stuck in his ways, and there's no changing it. So yeah. So I think that with him, it's not because he's as far as a football mind, he's a brilliant football mind. It's just that he's not adapting with the times, unfortunately. But
So you think Scott's asking? You think he's going to stay or go?
He'll stay. I think he's going to stay on the mere fact that they owe him that. He's been there forever. They owe him that. But as far as if I'm Robert Kraft, I'm asking him, listen, you can be the coach, but for GM, we need to get somebody here to take over as GM because the move that you've been making over the last couple of years, personnel-wise, is not working.
I gotta say though, as a fan, like as a owner, and just even, I guess even fan, that is such a tough predicament to be in with a coach that's won you so many Super Bowls, that was so dominant for so long.
Shula had the same thing happen to him.
Yeah.
It was like it's almost a similar pattern.
Right. I agree. You're right. I agree with that too. It's just when the time has come, it's so tough, I think, for an owner because they built that relationship. And Kraft and Belichick's been together forever. It's not like a new owner that bought the Patriots. It would be much easier for a new, let's say there was a new owner that bought the Patriots to say, all right, Belichick, man, hey, we appreciate you, bud. We're moving on. You know what I mean? Much easier. There's no relationship there. So I really feel like that when that day comes, man, that's going to be brutal for Kraft to call Bill in his office. Or I almost feel like it's going to take Bill to leave before Kraft to say goodbye. You get what I'm saying? Like
that's a hard thing because if he leaves there, he's probably leaving football. That's like what his life.
No, that's what
he's
I'm saying.
Nothing else.
I agree, but that's what I mean. I almost feel like they're in that stage, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I just don't see Bill Belichick also leaving to go to somewhere else.
I don't either. It's too much it's a huge restart.
Right. And I don't know if he wants to do that. You know what I mean? Like his like everything he's done is in New England, all his good fan. I'm sure he probably lives there or whatever, but he's not like, this is it. I think he doesn't want to restart his somewhere else is what I'm saying. So we'll see. That is interesting though, what they do with Kraft and him, because I'm sure they got a tight relationship.
All right. Well, my quick take would be I don't know, man. I just don't understand what's going on over there. It's very, very curious. If they don't tank, they don't get their hands on a quarterback. Do they get a free agent quarterback? I don't know. I don't know if he stays. I don't know if he goes. I keep vacillating back and forth. I don't know if he should stay or he should go. I've expected better things from him, but it's this continually failing to do the Patriot way, like these mistakes and mistakes and mistakes.
All right.
That concerns me probably more than anything. I think he's been strapped not being able to find the quarterback. He had got Mac 15 overall, and it hurt him to have McDaniel leave. And I think if McDaniel had stayed another year, things could have been better. But at this stage, I don't know what it's. I don't know.
But
we'll see.
I will say this, though.
I know. I love the fact that they keep on winning and they lose that pick to get the top quarterback, though.
I will say this, though, Curtis, as we both know, me and you, finding a quarterback sometimes is easier said than done.
Oh yeah.
The Bills and the Dolphins played that game for many, 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 many seasons until we found our guy, right? And I'm not sure if you believe Tua is your guy, but he's right now your best quarterback you've had. Since
easy, yeah,
right, Marino. What I mean?
I'm not one of those deluded people,
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, but how long did it take? And how many quarterbacks?
Forever, dude. How many it's just like
it's easier. Like I said, easier said than done.
Yeah.
Look at the Browns, right? Look how many quarterbacks they took until they go, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna give up the whole house.
And they screwed that one up big time.
right. But my point is, look, they got so desperate. They're willing to pay somebody $250 guaranteed. You know what I mean? And trade their draft picks away because they couldn't keep doing the cycle. They rather just took the gamble on somebody that was proven already. So it's wild. It's wild. So I don't really necessarily totally fault Belichick for not having a quarterback by now because I know how that works. And sometimes you think you have one that's good in the draft and it just doesn't work out. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Imagine what if he would have traded up and got Baker Mayfield, hypothetically. Baker Mayfield didn't work out, right? Let's see, he got up and got Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold didn't work out. So it's, like I said, easier said than done, but I do think that Belichick needs to – I think the Patriots need to go out and get a GM and let Belichick just, concentrate on coaching, find yourself a good OC, and hopefully you guys find a quarterback and get back on track,
Well, all right, let's move on to bigger and better things. We'll cover the Jets last, but the bigger and better things is the Dolphins versus the Commanders. I almost said the name that shouldn't be named. I slipped back to about 15 years ago.
Shame.
I might have lost the show on that one.
Well,
good catch, Curtis.
By the way, not that we'll get on that, but they're fighting for that name back.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. They're like, there is people that
I just think they should change the name every year. That should be like a thing that they do. It's every year they come up with a new name and new logo.
They never will.
Eternally changing. Can you imagine if they go back to the old name? That would be really weird. That'd be really weird. It didn't bother me, but I kind of understand why some people. But there was a lot of Native American groups that were
Native
saying,
American.
like
I'm saying that, right? And they're
so whatever.
They want it back.
Whatever their name, the Dolphins liquefied them, and I was wrong. I thought it was going to be a tougher game. I had because Senators. The Senators. I thought the football team, Washington football team, was a cool name. I like that.
I thought it was different. Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I like that. I don't want no politicians' names. I can't stand politicians. What do you call a ship full of politicians and lawyers at the bottom of the sea? A good first move in the right direction. Anyway, back to football. Dolphins, man. I thought Rivera, I lost a ton of respect for that guy. He came out and was playing man, got liquefied, changed his whole game plan after like a first big touchdown, went to like cover 2 zone for the most part, pull back on a man coverage. But then it was too late. They just couldn't put points on or whatever. Dolphins, really, they were a lesser team. They didn't have any defensive ends, but the Dolphins did a nice little thing there, blowing that team out. And,
I told you, Curtis. I told you.
If they had played, if they had played zone, if you noticed when they played that, I can't believe it's 3rd and 2. And what do you call man across the board? Have your guy get up in the front of Hill's face and you put the cover single high safety to the opposite side of the field. What the hell is wrong with these DCs that they do this week in and week out? How stupid can you be? No one ever did that to Randy Moss. I mean, like what? These guys, Rivera deserves to be canned. What do you think about that?
His time is done. I think it's been done. I don't know how he keeps getting opportunity after opportunity. I like the guy, I do, but
I think he's a nice guy.
I think he needs to hang it up. I really do. I think his time is done.
I don't think he's a DC anymore. I really didn't like what he did. I was so unimpressed. How stupid can you be? That's your moment, dude. You fire Del Rio, you're in your moment, and then like after the first drive or 2, you totally change your game plan. You're like, oh, that was wet in bed. What do you think, Trevor?
Honestly speaking, I mean, it's a complete beatdown. I was expecting that to happen. But I agree with Tommy. Like, why the hell did they fire Del Rio and keep Ron Rivera? Like, Ron Rivera is part of the problem too. Like, a lot of coaching blunders he's done all year, the last couple of years. Like, come on. Like, isn't going to change anything. I think the new ownership group is probably like, you know what? Let's finish out the year and we're going to have a reset on everything. Ron Rivera out of here. And they will evaluate. I like Sam Howell. I like him. I think there's definitely an upside to him.
I do too.
So at least they've done a good job as far as like trying to get pieces. I know they got rid of Chase Young and Montez Sweat. So they've done a good job drafting defensive players. Really decent job drafting over the years. Just that they need to have somebody there to really put it all together. And I think Ron Rivera, his time has run out anyway. I think he's a better coordinator anyway. I think he's proven that. I think he proved himself that, all right, fine, this is as good as it's going to get for him, and that's it. But other than that, no one was expecting y'all to lose to the Washington Commanders anyway. But that's the only thing holding them back, though. But other than that, that's pretty much it, honestly.
I think for me, like when I go into a season, I have like two points of evaluation: the ceiling and the floor. To me, the floor is how consistent you are at beating the lesser teams or teams you should beat. And then the ceiling is like, how high can you take it? And can you beat the teams that are equal to you or superior? And for me, what I saw last week, hey, Pride, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Dolphins have always had a low floor and a low ceiling. They would lose teams they're supposed to win. Sometimes they would beat teams they were supposed to lose to, but it was always as inconsistent. But when they beat the Commanders last week, and what I've seen do through the season, because of Hill, Waddle, Tua, and this defense now with Fangio, I think they've got a really high floor. I'm not saying they're going to be able to beat the ceiling yet. I got to see that. That's going to start week 16. But, as a Dolphin fan, I was very, very impressed, a little bit surprised, and to see the note, this is a high-floor team that beats a high-floor team that beats these teams. I'm always a guy that has concerns, but I have zero concerns over the next 2 weeks. I got to wait to see what happens that week 16 with Dallas, away against the Ravens, home against the Bills, the postseason. But it's a good feeling when you're confident that you could beat the teams you should. And that was the greatest thing that came out of it for me as a Dolphin fan. So I had to throw that out there because I'm covering the show now. I'm in charge, and I'm a Dolphins fan. I get to do that. I get to pontificate about my team, kind of like he does over there, Mr. Mafia Boy, on his little channel. So if anybody wants to pontificate about the Dolphins, you're free to do that now. So I think Jets. We got to talk Jets. Anyone want to talk about Jets Atlanta? And that
it can be
13-8,
quick.
13-8.
Now, I know Curtis picked the Jets here. I'm pretty sure he picked the Jets.
I think I did.
Once again, Tommy told you, don't. I don't know how you guys are putting points on these teams.
I don't know how you can't win at home like that again. 13-8.
Because there's Curtis. Did you watch the Jets offense against the Dolphins? Do you realize how bad their offense is? Stop.
It's worse than ours. The only difference is they're able to score, but it's way worse than ours.
They're really bad.
Sucks. He's a hack.
I truly don't understand. I'm not gonna lie to you. While I was at the Patriot game, I was keeping an eye on all of the scores, but it was this one in particular that just made me really befuddled, honestly speaking. Someone really needs to give Robert Saleh some type of PR training to learn how to speak to the media. God seems to be more and more every week. He sounds so stupid every single week. You just said a couple weeks ago that Zach Wilson gives you a chance to win. All right? And instead of saying that, hey, he's been playing terrible, we're going to bench and see if we go from there, you said that Tim Boyle gives you the best chance to win. And this man shouldn't even be in the NFL, as you can see. And then after the game is over, you cut the motherfucker. So it's like, what's the point? It's so much carnage going on there. Joe Douglas, I'm telling you, they really screwed themselves up so bad with this whole with everything going on right now.
What they're going to do is get one decent backup. They could have had Flacco.
You could have. Flacco knows the playbook. He's been there a couple of years. He knows this. I don't understand what was so hard. Like, you can't have messed up this badly. And like again, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't holding the team hostage, because that's what he has to be honest, Aaron Rodgers is holding the team hostage this year. He is. Because it was up to me. Hackett, bye-bye. Saleh, bye-bye. Joe Douglas, I was giving you one more year because he, besides the quarterback position, he has made a lot of great moves to improve the team. So I will give him, like, listen, if you do that shit again, you're out of here. But Saleh, Hackett needs to go back needs to go coach high school for a reason. He's that bad. It's awful. Like, come on, like, besides our own offense, the Jets' offense is really, really, really bad.
I told you guys when I was watching that game against the Dolphins, And I told you, Curtis, when we came on with me, you, and Kevin, when we did that AFC Shakedown right after, because it was a Black Friday game. And I was watching on, it was the only game to watch. So I'm like, you know what? I'll watch the whole game. I very rarely do that. I'm a red zone guy. And my God, was Tim Boyle terrible. And that Jets offense was awful. And I kept saying, who cares? Change him at halftime. Put the other guy in. I forget his name. The other backup they had. At this point, and Salah refused. And look, they wound up cutting Tim Boyle. Two starts he had, and they waived him. I mean, that is unreal. Terrible coaching. I don't get it. And now you put back Zach Wilson, who you made a third string. Now we're gonna trust you again for now the third time, fourth time, whatever it is time. It's unreal. I don't know. I think it's a mess right now with the Jets. Even when Aaron Rodgers come back, that offensive line is awful. They need work over there, and I don't know if Salah's the guy to fix it. I like Salah as a defensive coordinator. I think they built a great defense over there, but that offense is a hot mess. And then let's be real, Aaron Rodgers brung his people in, and they're not doing anything. They didn't help anything. So it's like, what if only Aaron Rodgers plays? These guys are going to step up. It's a nightmare right now if you're a Jets fan, and it is what it is. But that team, even with Zach Wilson, is still going to struggle. They're still going to put up very minimal points.
Here, look, Tom, you got a compliment.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
What do you mean? My New York bro ain't a perfect sports talk radio voice.
How you guys doing over here? This is Curtis over here. I got the stash going on. Hey, by the way, I told Curtis before he started, I think Curtis looks much better without the mustache. So you guys agree you like the mustache, the porn stash that he had rocking earlier in the year? You like?
I try to get my manly look. I'm tired of all the femme fatales that are now guys that are broadcasting. I miss the days of the big stash and chest hair coming out of the shirt. The marble, man. I'm trying to bring it back, man.
Smoking cigars.
Bring that back, baby. We need some more testosterone in this sport. I think my stash might add a drop of testosterone.
You were trying to pull that Mike Ditka mustache.
Oh, I love Ditka. Ditka was the best, dude. Oh, Ditka. Man, all right, so this is a really weird thing. I'm a Dolphins fan, and for the longest time, we've been the most dysfunctional team that you can imagine. And I don't know if there's anything brewing in the background. I don't know. But I know on the surface, it is like Twilight Zone when you got the Jets in their position. The owner comes out with a glowing plate, and then the quarterback goes down in 4 plays. You got Bill Belichick, who had the dynasty. He can't figure nothing out. He's going through Joey Bag of Donuts, the DC OC, and he gets the new OC. They can't score. And then you get the Tommy special bye week from hell dipped in lava.
Oh, my God.
And then a proctology exam on top of it bye week. So, Tommy, tell us about how it felt to have the bye week that you had, because it's going to warm my heart and all my Dolphin fans out there. And I'm sure even sad Patriot fans and Jet fans as well.
Oh, man. Well, I had a great bye week, right? Like me personally, it was fine. Like I got to we took a couple shows off. We didn't have to go live. Much needed bye week. However, I had to do videos because we kept having breaking news bye week. And obviously we talked about the Von Miller situation last week. So I won't get too into depth with that, but we all know how that goes. You all know my feeling on that. I'm down the middle. I let things play out, before I judge, because people are very quick to judge by reading an article or, a news story that quickly came out. You got to read all the facts. Sometimes you got to let things play
you sent it to me. I just didn't have the brain power, man.
Yeah.
I want to check it out probably tomorrow or something.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not always what when you read something that's shocking, sometimes it really can swing people to go, oh my God, it's just horrible. And like, so I don't know. I'm just not that person. I like to sit back and let everything kind of, form or like build up so I can see the facts before I pass judgment. But that story passed, and then Sean McDermott, a 3-page article came out, kind of a hit piece on Sean McDermott. No doubt about it. It was a former Buffalo Bills. And we are gone, and now it's Curtis, and now it's me, and now it's Trevor.
I got so excited I hit some button over here, and everybody disappeared.
That's okay. So long story short, it was Tyler. I
was laughing so hard I hit a button.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
Tyler Dunn used to write for the Buffalo. He had like worked for the Buffalo Bills News or something like that. But he was always He pretty much wrote a lot of negative stuff while he was covering the Bills. They took his press pass away, so he was never allowed to be on the field or anything like that. So believe me when I tell you this article, yes, it's probably a hit piece, okay? Because obviously he has some kind of hate towards Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills. But I will say some of this stuff is true. Some of this stuff is stuff that I talked about on my show over and over and over for the past 2 years about Sean McDermott. The 9/11 reference, guys, by the way, in 2019, I'm not like so mad about it, but how dumb can you be referencing the terrorist in a speech to your team? It makes no sense. It was a stupid thing for McDermott to do. He understood that after, but it was too late. But once again, that's not part of the article why I'm upset. I'm not even upset. That, shocks me. More so, him and Josh Allen aren't really so close. That's one thing in the article. Also, former coaches talking about Sean McDermott is interesting. And that's something that I've talked about in the past. We have a wide receiver coach in Chad Hall, which many of you guys know, left for Jacksonville to do the same job as a wide receiver coach. Why would you leave a team to go to another team to have the same position, coaching position? It makes no sense. He probably left because there was something going on in-house. And Chad Hall, by the way, was well respected by the players, a very good coach. So that made very little sense. It wasn't like he got a promotion, like I said. Then you got guys like Quentin Spain, who wanted to be on this team after we signed him, was a very good offensive lineman, in my opinion. Got benched after week 1 the following season and never saw the field again, and we winded up cutting him. There are some things that Sean McDermott definitely has done wrong here. We all know that. If you're a Bills fan, you understand this. So I'm not saying the whole article is factual. I'm sure some of it is stretched out. I'm sure some of it is, just a little bit of slander or whatever. But I do believe there is some truth to this article. Sean McDermott did come out and he addressed the 9/11 comment. So clearly that was true, or else he would have came out and said, I didn't say anything about that. I don't know what you're talking about. The fact that he came out, did a press conference, tells you that some parts of that article is probably true. The fact that Brandon Beane came out the following day and had to speak to the media about Sean McDermott is a problem, I think. Now, is this something that is going to distract the team? I don't think so. But was it a slight distraction? Yeah, probably, because he had to go. He had to address the team about the comments he made. Now the team's being asked about Sean McDermott and the whole comment.
Tommy, do you think that the delivery of this article was on purpose, considering how critical?
Absolutely. Listen, absolutely. And I talked to you about this before we went on. If Sean McDermott, if we were a winning team right now, first place or heading in the playoffs, or we already had won a Super Bowl, this article would mean absolutely nothing, and it probably wouldn't even be out. Let's be real. That's one. Two, do you know how many coaches probably have so many former players, ex-coaches?
Everyone.
That would say
Everyone.
Terrible guy, awful guy, terrible coach. I'm sure there's a ton. But here's the deal. When you're not winning or you're struggling or your team is starting to go downhill a little bit, things like this always hit the surface. Always, always, always. And when it does, it's huge. Because like I said, if we were winning, even if the story came out, they'd be like, oh, it's terrible. We shouldn't have said that. Oh, who cares? Next story. But that's not how it's playing out because we're 6-6. We're not winning, right? We've already fired our offensive coordinator. So, of course, this is going to be way blown out of proportion more than it should be. But
so this Tyler guy was like, it's my time to get revenge.
And he came at a perfect time. Bye week. And I'll tell you who's happy right now, Von Miller. Von Miller's going,
oh, yeah. Cover fire.
Thank you, Tyler. Right. Appreciate Tyler. So, but anyways, the moral thing is I do believe some things are probably factual, but winning cures everything. Winning cures everything. Sean McDermott goes on, and this team goes on to win 5 in a row, makes the playoffs. That article is going to be in the past. Nobody's going to give two shits about it. So I'm going
to ask you if you think they're going to actually do that, but I want to get into some important stuff about a winning team. The Dolphins over here, Pride says truth is, I'm still not sold onto it completely until we start winning big games. I just feel like he's very good, but I need to see if he's good enough. I think that's a fair take. I don't think there's anything negative about that. He has to win some big games, I don't know if he's going to. I think he's very good. I think, he's uplifting through these lesser teams. The floor, I think the majority of the floor for this team has been raised by his play and Hill. But we got to see how they do against the better teams. I think that's a fair take. And that's what's a fair. I think that's what we really don't get. We usually get who is the worst quarterback in history, or he's the greatest forever. So I think that's a fair take.
Irving, by the way, so Irving come out. Tyler Dunn is an excellent reporter. Y'all butthurt Bills fans are slandering the guy. So I want to tell you something real quick. You obviously, I wouldn't blame you. You're probably a Dolphin fan. You don't watch my my channel, but I disagree with that. I'm not. I just said on my take, I think Tyler Dunn has wrote good articles. I don't hate any, guy that's doing a job or writing an article. I'm not saying I'm butthurt for him writing this article. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I'm telling you that I'm sure there is. This is a hit piece a little bit, and I'm sure there's some truth to it. That's not meaning I'm not taking anything away from Tyler Dunn in this article. He clearly put the work in. He had 25 people all together and former coaches and players that this is a big time article, 3 pages. I mean, it's a long article. So no, I'm not disrespecting Tyler Dunn and what he does. I'm just telling you that he put this out in perfect timing. Like we said, we're a 6-6 ball club. And I guarantee you, if this was the Dolphins team, and you guys were playing bad and an article came out on Mike McDaniel, there will be fans like, oh, yeah, same thing. So it's just how it is, man. When you're losing, shit like this happens. When you're winning, even if this happened, nobody gives a shit. And right now, you don't give a shit because it's not your team. We're just telling you that there's some people that are going to support our coach, and there's some people that's going to
just win. And listen, all you got to do is win, and everything will be fine. If he goes and wins straight through, wins a Super Bowl, you know what everyone's going to be talking about? McDermott's the greatest coach ever. I always knew he was the greatest coach ever.
Yes,
I knew they were going all the way.
Listen, absolutely. And I'll tell you this right now. I think McDermott should be fired after the season. But I'll tell you, I'll eat crow if the Bills go and win a Super Bowl.
Happily,
like, of course,
happily,
absolutely, happily. Yes,
double hands.
And I'll say I was so wrong. I'll have it. McDermott, I love you.
More. Right. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Right. But as of right now, we have to be, this is what we do. Curtis does it, right? Like, we got to be brutally honest at the moment. That doesn't mean things can't change and get better.
No one gets every evaluation.
Sometimes they get, but sometimes they get right. And sometimes they get worse, by the way. Not everything works out the way you want it to be, and you're not always right either.
Nope.
Like,
but that's the beauty. That's the
players.
beauty of doing this gig. If you're a fan of the team and you make a bad evaluation, and then the coaching staff proves you wrong and then wins a big game, then you know that's who you want. Because I know as a Dolphin fan, for the longest period of time, I made better choices than my coach and GM. I know that. And then it's not just me. I mean, many, many Dolphin fans. I could have brought blind, retarded dunces that have had a lobotomy and put them in the GM or coaching spot for the Dolphins over the last couple of years, and they would have done better. So, you know what? As evaluators, as fans, when your coach proves you wrong or GM proves you wrong, you win.
Yeah, absolutely.
You lose, but win on a bigger level.
Even a player. You know how many players that I've been wrong on? Or how many players?
A lot, Tommy. You've been wrong on a lot, Tommy.
I really have. I listen, and I've also been right.
78% inefficiency rating as far as I've got you.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I might be wrong on that one. It might be 76. I don't know. Give or take 2%.
Hey, I've been wrong. I'll admit it. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it is what it is. The name of the game, baby.
Well, you were right. You chose me to be your friend, and that's all you really
absolutely. And that's all that matters. That's all that counts. That's all that counts.
All right. Speaking of right choices, let's go to Trevor. The right choice to bring Zappy in 21-18 in the Steelers' house.
Thank you, Patriots.
Pushing you away from that top quarterback, which I know you're very happy about. Let's dig deep into the Zappy experience and the wonderful feeling you have now that you've now moved to 3-10. How happy are you?
Well, the win doesn't change our draft position anyway because Arizona's on the bye, so we're still the number 2 overall pick. So us winning didn't do anything. Now, as far as getting the number 1 pick, that's probably not going to happen. Definitely not going to happen. But I'm okay with that. I didn't care about getting the number 1 overall pick. It didn't matter to me. Now to the game. Bailey Zappe obviously is a lot more competent because the fact of the matter is, as the media would say, Matt Jones is broken.
He hasn't been broken.
He's broken. Oh my God, his feelings is hurt.
The guy who punched the guy in the groin. Now he's the poor victim.
Honestly speaking, to me, Bailey Zappe is not a starter. Not a starter. I think he's a pretty decent backup. Like, he's proven that in the last 4 games. The 4 games that he's played, he's been somewhat competent. Where he started, he's like, okay, fine. He'll find ways to not screw it up. I mean, he'll throw a pick here and there or turn the ball over here and there. But it's like, he's a lot more poised in the pocket than Matt Jones is. Matt Jones tries to force everything in there, and then disaster happens. Like, especially in the Pittsburgh game, the throws that Matt Jones would have thrown, like I think it was a play to Juju Smith-Schuster, where he was doubled. Normally, Matt Jones would do it to him, try to make the play and intercept it, but he just took the football away, or he just makes the smart plays, as I say. So Zappe is someone that will keep you afloat, for lack of better words. But other than that, he's just a decent backup at best, honestly. Now for the game itself, I didn't realize how bad Pittsburgh's offense is really bad. So you fire Matt Canada because the offense is bad, but they managed to win 7 games. Unbelievable. I don't know how you do it, but yeah, Matt Canada's pretty bad. But Mitchell Trubisky, and it's gonna lead to my rant later on, and it kind of leads my rant later on, but it's true. A lot, with the exception of like 5, maybe 6 quarterbacks in the league, the rest of everybody else is like really mediocre, or they just suck. Like, the backups for most of these teams are really bad. It's to the point where, like, how do you make it to the league? Mr. Trubisky is bad. He's terrible. He's awful. But his backup, Mason Rudolph, is worse than him. So how does that work? How does it work? So to me, Kenny Pickett getting hurt will pretty much derail the entire Pittsburgh Steelers season right now. But I can't believe how bad that offense is. You have
okay, Pride has a question for you. He says, Are the Patriots putting all their eggs in the basket for Caleb Williams or whoever they want is the quarterback to save the franchise? I'm curious. What do you think their thought process is?
Honestly speaking, I'm not really a fan of Caleb Williams. And even if we did have the opportunity, he would be gone anyway. I think he's going number 1 overall.
Yeah.
I'm not really fan of him. But me personally, if there was a quarterback that I would draft, and I think one of the quarterbacks that really impressed me all year is Michael Penix from Washington. I watched the big Pac-12.
Give a good answer. He gave $5. You better give him a $5 answer, Trevor. You're fired.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, but it's Michael Penix Jr. is someone that I really look forward to, and if he falls to us, that's great. I personally would love to have the wide receiver from Ohio State, Marvin Harrison Jr. That guy's a stud. He's a stud.
I don't really watch too much college. He's really that good.
Oh, dude, he's a stud. Curtis. Put it this way:
what we call
he had a bad game against Michigan, and I think he had like 125 yards.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta watch that game.
Yeah, he's
all right. You're earning that $5, Trevor. You're earning that $5.
Oh, wait a minute! Whoa, Trevor! Trevor!
Hold on.
Trevor!
Oh shit! Oh!
All right, now you're on the hot seat. I want a $20 answer. Pride, that is ultra nice, brother.
Thank you, Pride.
And if he fails, you blame him. You do not blame me. $20 answer, Trevor. Tell me,
You're on the hot seat, Jared.
You're on a hot seat. That is very kind. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you, 100%. Trevor, I'm not going to give you Merry Christmas unless you earn this money here.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cold, man. You know what I'm saying? So tell us who these top quarterbacks are. I know Caleb. He's the crybaby guy with the super talent. But I don't know the rest.
You have Caleb Williams from USC. You have Drake May from North Carolina. I've heard he's pretty decent. I haven't really watched too many games from him because he was I don't know, the ACC, the network is weird. So I can only watch select ACC games. So you don't really see North Carolina on TV a lot. But I heard that he's the top pick in the draft. McCarthy from Michigan has been getting some looks. I personally think he's okay. To be a top pick in the draft, I don't think so. But DJ McCarthy from Michigan.
Are there any free agent quarterbacks out there that maybe they could draft this guy Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Believe it or not, that's what I was thinking. I was truly thinking because I was saying that if the Patriots were able to get Marvin Harrison Jr., and a lot of Patriot fans disagree with me on this, I was like, listen, Marvin Harrison Jr. as a junior in Ohio State, to me, is so good. He's so good that he can make any quarterback look decent. Like his quarterback in Ohio State isn't very good. I'm not really a fan of him. I don't think he's really good. But he makes him look like $1 million. And that's how good Marvin Harrison is. So I would say if Marvin Harrison was to come to the New England Patriots, you could find a decent veteran, or if you want to find a quarterback in the second round, which I think that'd be great. But
or you trade or you trade for like, one.
We could go, but I think we definitely need skilled players. We need skilled position players because
I gotta check this guy out, man. You got me. That was a $20 answer, man. I want to check this guy Harrison out.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
He's
1995 answer, but I'll give you this. I'll spot you to 5 cents.
He's a stud. He's a stud.
All right, cool, good answer. Pride, did he give you your money's worth? Pride, you kind of. I think that's. I think if Belichick stays, I really am intrigued about. I'm not no joke. This Harrison guy, if they could get him and they could find a decent quarterback, even in free agency or something like that, maybe it could be. I'm really intrigued by this guy Harrison. I'm gonna check him out. Yeah, that's right. I need you guys. I hate selling, man. I hate selling, so I'm gonna pimp you guys out. Please hit the like button. It really does matter. It keeps us doing our thing. We're grateful for all you do, especially that $25 question that you just get help Trevor get Trevor out. He's done now. He's done for the day. He's fried.
Yeah.
You burnt them out. He burned me out. I got nervous. I was nervous from like, he better make the $25. I can't answer. All right. So that's right. Yeah, wait, hold on. Another one. Thank you. Smash it. Don't break the computer, but
smash it. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Don't break the computer. All right. Where we at? I got so into it. Okay. So Patriots, they're getting Marvin Harrison. They got some free agent quarterback. And then they're going to be back in the game next year. I think that's the best route for them.
Or you trade, by the way, or you trade for one. I mean, you could always trade for a quarterback.
You can.
Believe it or not, you know, that's another option you have. I mean, depending on who you like out there, but you know, they're believe it or not, man, teams move on from, you know, there probably is a guy that a team might want to move on from. So.
Now, Scott, that is cruel. That is cruel. It's not like I made fun of Tommy. Man. I said, Tommy, you had this sort of bad bye week. I really felt bad for you. I don't want to talk about it. Do you want to talk about it? And then you come at me like that, Scott. Oh,
man, Scott.
Man, that's now I feel like I've been beaten down. I feel like Tua was beaten down by Flores, and I feel like Jones was beaten down by Belichick right now with that comment. So this week I guess we got to do the biggest game of the week. The biggest game of the week is obviously you, Tommy. You versus the Chiefs. Coming off your bye week at Great Adventure, the happy times. Now, a lot of guys are out for the Chiefs. But Bolton, the middle linebacker, is going to play. And this guy's an ace. That's a big uplift, even though they're missing some guys. Missing, I think, the left tackle. They're missing Pacheco. This is really, I'm watching this game. I'm going to cover it. I'm very excited to see what happens. I still don't know if I want you guys to win or lose. I'm trying to figure out what's best for my future, my team. But what do you think is going on with that game? How do you think it's going to play out? And you give us your lowdown.
Yeah. So we're pretty healthy for the most part, except for obviously the guys that are out for the season. Dawson Knox should return, by the way. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do with Dawson Knox now that he's returning. Kyer Elam, but even though he's not going to play, and I think he's going to remain inactive. But everybody else is returning from injury. So that's a good thing, except for obviously the guys that are out for the year. On offense, we've been clicking. We've been doing much better over the past 2
I like
weeks.
Brady.
Yeah, he's done a very good job against very good defenses now back-to-back in the Jets and the Eagles. Now, the Chiefs have a very good defense, and the Cowboys moving ahead, then that following game also have a good defense. So this is a real true test of what Joe Brady's going to be all about. These, you know, because he's already, in my eyes, first 2 games, he's already passed most.
I agree 100%.
So, yeah, so if he gets through this gauntlet here, which he's halfway through, in my opinion, because I don't think, you know, no offense to the Dolphins defense, but that they're not as good as the Jets, or not as good as the Eagles and the Chiefs and the Cowboys. And then we got the Patriots and the Chargers, who are not obviously, you know, elite defenses like these 4 games. So we've already finished 2. We got 2 more. And this Chiefs game, like I said, man, their offense, the Chiefs this year has been struggling, no doubt about it. It's Mahomes and Kelsey. He just cannot, you know, players are just not stepping up.
Yeah, he's missing Hill. Right, he's missing Hill.
Well, he's missing Hill. He's missing a lot of players that just aren't like, you know, even last year when they had Juju, believe it or not, Juju played decent with them. They just can't. Even McCall Hardman, who they got back, I think is now on IR, just wasn't the same, even when they got him back. So they're having a tough time finding guys to step up, and defenses now are taking Kelsey out of the game plan. And that's why Kansas City is struggling how they are on offense. But their defense is what's keeping them in games. So if Joe Brady can figure that out, get some points on the board, and we can close the show, which is what we've really been doing wrong this whole year. McDermott and the defense, let's be real, is even though our offense has struggled at times, a lot of the time, we've lost 3 games, Curtis, this year when the defense was given the opportunity to stop, to close the show. Patriots, I mean, my God, Patriots. That one just makes me sick, right? We take the lead. Grant you, our offense was miserable. But if your offense gives you the lead late in the game, You're a defensive coordinator. You are a defensive-minded head coach. It is your job to close the show, and he's failed 3 times against opponents that weren't very good at the time, right? You got the Patriots, the Broncos, and I forget the other third team.
Hey, didn't we beat the Broncos 70-20, Tommy?
7, and then we beat you 48-20 right after. Okay, so
I don't remember that. When did that happen?
Right.
I don't remember that.
but anyway, and I'm sorry, in Philadelphia was the third game, so we had the lead, and then once again we just let Philadelphia drive right down, score time, and that's been the story of McDermott on this team. The 13 seconds against Kansas City, right? 2021, we had the lead. But it's been this story throughout his career. He tenses up when games are tight. And he's got shaky bones in him. He absolutely does, Curtis. He absolutely does. He goes conservative in the worst times. He calls timeouts at the worst moments. He, like I said, goes conservative when he should be going for it. Challenges plays and uses timeouts for no reason when we needed the time. Like, he really loses track of things when games are tight. When games are going smooth, Sean McDermott, excellent coach. Defense looks on fire. But when things start to really tighten up, that's where Sean McDermott really doesn't know what I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's doing, but he clams up. And I think the defense kind of follows his lead, and it is what it is. So let's just hope this game's not close, because that's what I fear. It's a close game. Offense takes the lead. Chiefs wind up scoring, and we lose the game, at the last 2 minutes. So I'm just hoping that our offense stays on fire the way it's been over the last 2 weeks or the last 2 games, and our defense can do their job and keep this Chiefs team under 30, and we win the game. That's how I see it going. By the way, Pacheco is out. That's a huge loss for them. He's a very good running back. He's a bruiser type running back. I believe their left tackle is out as well. That's a big loss, because Leonard Floyd, by the way, back to being healthy. Gregory Rousseau off the injury report as well. He's back to being 100%. I will be interested to see what they do with Von Miller, though. I will say that. Will he be active or inactive? He's on the team, but I am very curious because he hasn't produced. So I'm very curious if they make him inactive and let somebody else who's producing be on the field. But I have a feeling he will be active. But yeah, that's how I see the game.
What do you think the score is going to be?
I think we're going to win 34-24. All
right, Trevor, what do you think?
I think Buffalo will win this game, honestly. I think I'm not gonna lie to you. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm not gonna lie to you, is terrible. So them losing Pacheco is really going to hurt them a lot. And let them know that the lack of receivers, let's be honest here. Besides, outside Travis Kelce, the receiving core is pretty bad. So especially how they struggled last week against Green Bay. Buffalo, honestly speaking, I feel like, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago when they lost to Philly. I said that even though they lost to Philly, I felt like it wasn't over.
You said they're going to run, though. You could say they're going to run the table.
I thought they run the table. And I think this was, it started saying, I think a statement win in Kansas City, especially since how the narrative is that, hey, you can't win when it matters. I think their playoff starts tomorrow, and they're going to go through each game as a playoff game and try to go all the way to the end. But right now, I think Buffalo will win this game. I think Kansas City they're definitely wounded. A lot of issues they have going on. I think Buffalo's going to take. I have them winning 34-24.
Oh, my score. Nice. By the way, I really want to say something real quick. If I really truly believe if Buffalo beats KC and Dallas following week, I do believe that we will win 5 in a row. I do believe we will run the table, because those 2 games there, I like I said earlier, I think those are the 2 toughest defenses we'll be facing for the rest of the way until we reach the playoffs. And who's
the 2 toughest defenses
that will be playing? It will be Chiefs and Cowboys for the next 5 games. Will be the
maybe Dolphins.
I don't think the Dolphins are better than the Chiefs defense or the Cowboys. I think the Dolphins have gotten better, but I don't think they're better. You get what I'm saying? Than them. They're good. I'm not saying your Dolphins defense is shit. I just don't think they're as good as the Cowboys or
I don't know
Chiefs.
if they're as good as the Cowboys, but I think they're as good as the KC. But that's just my take.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but you see where I'm going with this, and I also believe momentum. I also believe momentum is a big thing in confidence. You win those.
It's
games,
huge.
Your confidence level is right, and trust me, guys, that means so much, to a team, because it also could go in reverse when you're on a losing streak. Sometimes it's real tough to get out.
Your buttocks tightens up, man. You get the yips and stuff.
You guys. I know you don't watch basketball, but I'm a Piston fan. Lost 19 games in a row. Oh, horrendous! They're terrible. So, I mean, and they're not. They're getting worse each game because I'm sure their confidence is at all-time low.
Pressure starts ratcheting up.
Yeah, so you don't want to. I really truly believe, man, you win these next two games, man. I think Buffalo's we're looking good. And by the way, real quick before we move on, teams that are right now 7-5, and thank you to the Patriots for beating Pittsburgh, but a lot of these teams have a lot of issues going on. Cleveland is working with Joe Flacco. No offense to Joe Flacco, but he's a 40-year-old quarterback who I don't think is going to carry Cleveland, right? You got the Steelers, which are having major issues right now, that are a 7-6 team right now. You got Cincinnati, who's working with the backup quarterback. You got Houston, that now is missing their primary weapon.
A lot of teams, yeah.
So a lot of these teams ahead of the Buffalo Bills right now are dealing with a lot of issues, and the issues are the main issue, the quarterback. And Buffalo right now doesn't have that issue. So I was really down on us after we lost that Eagles game. But if you really look at the overall picture and how we've been playing offensively, I think there is a chance that the Bills do make the playoffs. Go ahead.
So I didn't know about Mahomes being injured. And that's a big deal.
He's fine. He's been hurt. He's hurt. He's always hurt. He's always hurt. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Listen, he had a bum ankle and won the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, but when you got your pectoral, if you have your pectoral and you throw on,
that's the worst. Daquan Jones out for you know that. I get that, but when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna play.
I just think that if I've been watching the last bunch of their games, and they've been really relying on their run game and Pacheco.
Absolutely.
Pacheco is a good player and a hard runner. And if he's not in, I think you guys got
He's out. He's out.
Yeah.
He's out for the game.
I think they're only going to put 17 points on. I think it's going to be like 31-17.
I feel our run defense, by the way, has gotten much
Somebody else said that too, I think.
As our seasons went on. If you look, the addition of Joseph was huge, by the way. And Daquan Jones should return this season.
They say that? I heard 37-17. Wow. What about Millen?
No. He's done.
He's done?
No.
Yeah, Milano, I meant.
Yeah. They McDermott said he's not coming back.
Oh, okay.
But Daquan Jones
coming back,
yes,
huh?
Yes. He said there's a positive outlook that he will return this season at some point. So, but like I said, I think Joseph has filled in very well. I think it was a good pickup. Leonard Floyd has been playing very well.
Yeah, I think the key is going to be Vaughn picking himself up to get a little bit better.
Absolutely. And will he? I don't know. Like that Vaughn, I want to say I think he's played now, 5-6 games. I haven't seen anything yet to quite say he's there. He's back. He just seems he's a
I think if you don't see with this time off, if you don't see a little tick up in his play, it might not come back this season because, if you don't see a tick up now, he's just going to be in the grind and the grind and the grind.
You know what it is too, man. I tell people all the time, these are humans, man. These aren't machines. Yep. Like this is a lot of you guys, and I'm not saying you guys in the chat, but a lot of people, comment like, "Oh, Von Miller, fucking, he sucks." And it's like, guys, it's been barely a year. Just a little over a year, ACL, major surgery.
Oh, yeah.
My buddy Captain D, you guys know him. It's over 2 years. He's still struggling with his knee that he messed up. So it's not as it's easier. We just look at these athletes and we're like, oh, just get out there and do it. It's not how it works, guys. Like mentally, physically, it's a grind, man. Coming back from something like this, and
totally 100%.
Factor in his age. I mean, like. there's so much to it. So I understand that part when it comes to Von. I'm a realist. I get it. It's not, I wish, of course, we all wish, oh man, he gets in there, sacks, right away. Like, it's just not everybody's built like Adrian Peterson, right?
That guy's a total freak. That guy's a freak of freaks.
Right. So, but
speaking of staying positive and being a realist, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins, who have a 1.5-game lead in the AFC East. They're this week going against a very, very elite team in the Titans, and they're going to blow them out.
Yeah, it's not going to look good.
No, the Titans. Titans are bad. I went through like all these defensive stats, and the only thing I found for them that was even close to top 10 was tackle for loss. They've got they got a 6th-round pick at left tackle. Hubbard's out. Their right tackle, I can't remember his name. He's terrible pass blocking. We're gonna blow them out. I cannot believe my Dolphins are gonna be 10-3. And they're going to beat the Jets too. There's no way I can. I mean, anything could happen, but I'm saying in the realm of plausibility, Dolphins look like to be 11-3 going into those last 3 games. Yeah. Somebody had said before, Butch Barry deserves MVP, and I don't know. Like I was saying yesterday in my live, I don't know what he's teaching. I don't really know that. But I do know that if you look at the Dolphins, last year their clean throw time was like 72%, and it was like 2.35 seconds. This year it's 78% and 2.11. Last year their overall throw time was 2.52. That was just with Tua. It was much higher with Skylar. This year it's 2.38. And I spent a lot of time digging in, trying to show people that if you've ever played any kind of football, you understand that if you had a graph, the longer a play goes on, the more difficult it is to block, whether it's run blocking or it's pass blocking. And as you start cresting into that 2.5 second mark, it starts, the steepness starts rising dramatically. When you're at 0 to 1 second, it's impossible to even get to a guy unless it's like a total free runner. 1.5 seconds is almost impossible to get a guy. Really, when you start getting to that early 2 seconds, that's the lowest you can get to a guy, and it takes like some crazy thing to happen. They're throwing the football at such speed, at such a high rate. Tom Brady in 2022 was throwing like 4.4 yards per completion. We're doing 6.2. He was doing it 2.45 seconds, and it was 80%. We're blowing that out of the water. And so protection, time will make anybody look better. And so I don't know if Butch Barry is this or that the other thing. We'll know when he goes against Dallas, when he goes to the Ravens, when he plays the Bills, and when he goes into the postseason. But if you look over the last couple of weeks, if the protection was so good, why is McDaniel calling a lot more screens? He's called way more screens I've ever seen him call. His play actions have gone up. And to me, all that does is plays to mitigate pass rush. Now, we've had injuries. We have guys that shouldn't be starters who are injured. And so I can't really say anything about Butch Barry just yet, but I'm going to know week 16 and on. That's where we're going to know, because that time to throw is not going to be in that range. It's going to go up. You look at our time to throw against these better teams, and it all rose. So I think you can't say Butch Barry's not doing good, but I know the time to throw has definitely helped. But we will see week 16. That's where the bread, butter, the pancakes, everything's going to be made for the Dolphins, and all the awards and booby prizes are going to be handed out. This week, we're going to roast them. Next week, we're going to roast the Jets. So I don't know. I got to see if the Dolphins are able to do the right things against these week 16 and on, because that's real teams with two sides of the ball and a good defense, then maybe Butch Barry is as good as that he's being built. But I need to see some time, because the time to throw is there's no one in the last 7 years that has thrown with the same depth of intention and completion and the same speed of throw, except Fitzpatrick with the Dolphins in 2020, and he only did it for 4 games. This is Tua, his release, which shaves at 1 or 2/10 of a second off, and then Hill's ability to get with depth along with Waddle and McDaniel creating that motion, to me, is the biggest piece of the pie. But we can hand out those final rewards. So I just want to answer that question. I think the Dolphins are going to liquefy this team to a certain degree. I think they got him like 13 points. I don't know if it's going to be a total beat down by like 30 plus points. I think it's going to be like maybe 31-13, something like that. I think that will be the score for the Dolphins. I think my biggest concern is the injuries. Wilkins has got a little groin injury going on right now. Tehran's battling the ankle. Hunt's re-aggravated his hamstring. So, Holland's coming in. He had 2 bad knees. I'm a little concerned. My concern over these next 2 weeks is not the wins. I think we're going to take them. It's the body blows. Ever since they got off the bye week, it's been tough teams. Not good teams, but tough teams. And this Titans team is playing hard for Vrabel, and it's going to be a lot of body blows. But I think they're going to blow them out. Tommy, I know you agree. I
Yeah, I do, actually. I mean, I had you blowing out the Commanders last week. I mean, listen.
You were right last week, man. You nailed it.
Absolutely. So, I think, this being a home game for the Dolphins, Tennessee also starting a rookie quarterback, is never good, but he's actually fit. He's done okay. I think he's.
No, I like him. I like to see where he's. I like his direction.
I like his direction. I like that they're giving him an opportunity over Tannehill. It's about time. Tannehill. I thought Tannehill was good for them for a little bit, but it was time to move on, and they did the right thing by sitting him behind Tannehill, and now he's playing. I think D-Hop helps him a lot as a rookie. Like, why not have a really good veteran receiver out there that can help a young quarterback out? So it turned out to be a good signing for this kid. But I just think the Dolphins are just too deep on offense, and the Titans are just right now trying to find their own with this rookie quarterback. I think Derrick Henry's still a good running back. I still see them scoring some points on you because of that.
Yeah.
Factor.
I can't see more than 13 to 17.
So, yeah. Well, I'm gonna say 34-20. And I'm gonna say 34-20.
Well, you're better than me. This numbers.
Why? Because I think because they got 2 good weapons, and I think Derrick Henry can wear down a defense, and he can get going. And believe it or not, like I said, he could take off still 70 yards to the house, right? He's that type of player.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's still. I think that guy's got years ahead of him, 2 or 3 years ahead of him.
I said that. I said that when the Bills were supposedly in conversations with the
Titans. He's 250.
He still could truck you. He still has speed.
Could you imagine having to tackle that guy?
Dude, I would, play after play. He just breaks you down physically. But yeah. And then you got D-Hop, who's also a physical type receiver. So I do think they have guys that can help out and put some points. I just don't think it's enough. I think the Dolphins offense is just too much for the Titans to handle, especially being at home. That home crowd will be lit. So like I said, 34-20. I think that's fair.
I don't. Shekels thinks it's 50-17. I just think that
who knows? You never know.
Yeah, but I just think that they're going to run the ball so much that it's going to make the clock move fast. I don't think there's going to enough time to. But you never know. Yeah. But I just think when you watch them play, they still like run the ball so much, and that clock just keeps moving. I think Vrabel's good. All right, so Trevor, everybody's on the Dolphins bandwagon this week. Are you on the bandwagon too?
Of course they're gonna win this game. Like, you not picking the Titans, that trash, that garbage team. No, the Dolphins should win this game. The Dolphins should win this game convincingly. Now, I think this should, again, with all the injuries going on with the Dolphins now, the schedule actually favors them right now because you have a couple of cupcakes you guys can walk through real quick as you guys, get healthy and prepare yourself for the final 3 games of the season. Which, again, will show us who the Dolphins really are. But other than that, you guys should have no problem beating them. I don't want to say it's going to be a complete ass kicking, but it will be convincing. I would say like a 30-10 game, 30-13 probably.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Yeah. Because Vrabel's these guys are playing hard. They're playing hard for Vrabel.
Yeah, I think Vrabel's a good coach, by the way. I like him.
I do too.
Yeah.
What do you think about Vrabel, Trevor?
I like Vrabel, actually. I think that when he
maybe you can get him to be your head coach.
Ooh.
Listen, maybe. if I know I have a lot of friends on Tennessee fans who are big fans of the team, but some of them have given up on Vrabel already. I think they feel like they want a whole new restart, what I think is kind of ridiculous. For the last 2 years. Last year they were in the division until injuries happened and then they lost the last game to Jacksonville. But except for this season, they've been in the hunt and contention every single year since he's been the coach. Yeah. So I don't think they should let him go. I think this is one bad year. They got to figure out their quarterback position coming up to next year. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill is done. I think that they got to move on from him. And let's see what Will Levis has.
Maybe you guys can get him next year.
He's a good backup. I take him all day
as a backup. As a backup, you can't get out of that.
You're telling me right now the Jets wouldn't have played much better?
Oh, the Jets would have done awesome with them.
You know what I mean? Like 10 times better. Okay. By the way, real quick, I started to cut you off. What do you feel about Frank Reich if he was available as OC? I think
he's done. He said he's done. He said he's done.
Heard that. I think he's going to take a year off. I think.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Done. But I would absolutely listen. I would hire him in a heartbeat as OC.
He got screwed.
Yeah, I do think
screwed. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Trevor, it wasn't his decision on the quarterback, right? That was the ownership. That was an ownership move. That was a bad. They could have had the guy from over at Houston. They could have drafted him instead, which would have been a much better selection. I think they gave up on him way too early. There's a 3-year window. I think every coach, for the most part, unless you're, the Jacksonville college coach that just is out there partying with girls after losing games, then you got to go after a year. But I think every team that's in real rebuild mode, I think they all deserve a 3-year shot. That Carolina team is a disaster. It takes a while. And they drafted a small quarterback who I just feel like that was a mistake, man. They passed up on a really good quarterback in Houston. I can't believe I'm not thinking of his name right now. What's his name?
Stroud.
Yeah, Stroud. Huge mistake for Carolina, and that's going to bite him in the ass years to come. I'm telling you right now. But I'm telling you, Trevor, he's a good coach. I think he got screwed, like Curtis said, and I think
the Colts didn't do him any favors either. What was the quarterback?
No, absolutely not. Same thing. They screwed.
Now I will agree with the Colts thing. Yeah. I think that them firing him in the middle of the season last year, I thought that was wrong. Especially how everything went down. But then at the same time, it's like I think they had their a bad taste in their mouth with Carson Wentz last year. There, how bad they played that last game against Jacksonville and completely kicked them out the playoffs. So they probably was like, we had a bad taste in their mouth for that. But firing him in the middle of the season last year was bad. But then again, Carolina. But then if you're looking at it from outside looking in, he's had 2 coaching jobs in 13 months. He got fired in the middle of the season. He got fired for 2 teams in 13 months. So it looks bad, and I can understand why he doesn't want to deal with it anymore as far as the head coaching position, stepping away from it for a while. But he's going to pay like $40 million for the next 3 years.
I think, if I was Frank Reich, man, honestly, like Curtis, like even he said, I think he should step away for like a year, come back as an OC, in my opinion, or college level coach, and then come back in the NFL maybe a couple years from now and redo it again. I think he does, but I think he's a good. I'm telling you, man. I think he could be.
I do too. I do too. I remember Frank Reich. I remember Frank Reich on your Bills back in the day.
It's a dirty. Let me tell you, NFL's a dirty business, man. It's a real like some of these owners, and it's brutal, man. I feel bad for some of these guys out there.
Yeah, Brandon Staley can keep his job. This is crazy.
Right, look at the terrible. Right, look at these terrible.
He's got to be fired.
Right, look around the league at these coaches, and Frank Reich gets fired after I fucking have. I mean, it's unbelievable the coaches that stick around in some of these organizations. I don't get it. It's mind boggling. But anyways, sorry to cut you off, Trevor. Go ahead.
Anyway, so the Dolphins will be 10-3 in the catbird seat. After this week, we all agree. I like it when we're all happy like this. We're all together. It's simpatico, man. This is good. We got to keep this going, guys. I think we got to keep it going just like this. Oh, wait, there's one more game. Texans, Jets.
Oh,
I forgot about the
brutal.
Man, if I need to go to sleep, right, I can watch the Jets offense.
My God.
If you need sleep, if you have sleep apnea, watching the Jets offense will do
the return of Zach Wilson for the Jets.
Allegedly.
Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun. It's like Elvis is in the building again.
Hey, hopefully Stroud. Hey, like I wish Stroud the best on that field. By the way, they're playing in New Jersey at MetLife. My God, like thank God we're done playing the Jets this year because that's
it's a hellhole.
I
lost Phillips there, and then Holland got his knees messed up. That's terrible.
It's not a place you want to play. So, I'm sure Houston's thinking, "Damn, let's just get out with healthy." You know what I mean, in a win. But I what do you think? I think that game's going to be closer than what people think. I think losing Tank Dell really hurts Houston. I think the Jets defense can mix it up on Stroud because Stroud, believe it or not, Stroud is having a really good year. He's going to win Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. But you can see some of his games he gets thrown off on some of the better defenses. Jets are going to bring it. They're going to bring it. They're going to confuse him. He's still a rookie. He's still going to make mistakes. And that's one thing the Jets do well. They force turnovers, and they put a lot of pressure on you. So that's going to be interesting. Will the Jets defense put the Jets offense in better position this game to possibly pull an upset? I'm going to call an upset. And this is crazy because I've been picking against the Jets most of the season because their offense is putrid. But I just feel like without Tank Dell going against that Jets defense in New Jersey, Stroud being a rookie, I think that Jets defense is going to shake them up a little bit. And I think they're going to do just enough to pull off a win. And I'm going to say the Jets win in an upset. And I'm going to say they win 19-13.
Wow. 19-13. Well, you got Billy Turner's back. Mekhi Becton's back. They got a little bit of offensive line help there. I don't know. What do you think, Trevor? I'm still debating. I got off the Jets bandwagon, man. They're dead to me on offense.
I don't think they're getting beat bad though. You can't say that.
Dell,
go ahead, sir.
I agree with Tommy. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout like people think it is too. I think Houston, again, as much as they've overachieved this season and done very well, this is still a team that's still trying to find its way. You know what I'm saying? So I think yes, CJ Stroud is incredible. But
now
he's going against a very, very good Jets defense. Let's see how he's able to handle that type of step. I know the Jets offense is bad. I know they're bad, but I think seeing the Jets defense rattle CJ Stroud a lot, they're gonna rattle him. And I think that it's gonna get to him. You're gonna see that rookie, the actual rookie CJ Stroud. Say, all right, that's the rookie we're looking at. They're looking for. So I think the Jets will win this game. I think it'll be very low scoring because I still don't see how the Jets are able to score points, even though Houston's defense is kind of lax. They're not great, but they're okay. They're okay, but I don't see enough playmakers on defense to try to slow down this Jets offense, even though they are anemic. I think the Jets will win this game 16-13. Wow. I think it'll be very low scoring, very ugly, and if they're smart, they'll run the ball. They'll run the ball a lot. I think we'll see them running the ball a lot because I don't even know who the quarterback is. It's going to be Zach Wilson. It's going to be Trevor Siemian or Brett Ripon from LA. Who the hell is, I don't know.
Oh, Rippon's on there now? Rippon? That's funny. Rippon's
they signed him early in the week.
nephew. Yeah. By the way, too, and we didn't mention that defensive-minded head coach. You know, say what you want about Saleh. He is a good defensive head coach. That's what he specializes in. And Houston has a rookie coach. I mean, so he's going to make some mistakes going against a very good defense. So that's why I feel like the Jets being at home, the Texans missing their star receiver, a rookie quarterback, it kind of favors, even with the Jets offense being stinky, I still think the Jets defense could put the offense in enough field position to win a ugly game. So go ahead, Curtis.
I don't know. I put all my hope in him last week and they cut me. I think it's dead to me. I keep seeing 8-13. 8-13. 8-13. I don't know. I just don't. I guess it's possible. You know, if you get a defensive turnover for a touchdown or something.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Texans. But I could see it the other way. I just think it's gonna be like a low. I think it's gonna be 9-15 or something,
right.
Whatever. I don't know.
Right.
Some crazy. There's going to be a low double digits and one single digit type score. But I'm going to go with the Texans. I like what they're doing over there. I think they got a better offensive line. And I don't know. I think Zach Wilson doesn't put any chills up my leg or anything. I think he's going to probably make a mistake.
None of those quarterbacks put chills up your legs.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Texans over the Jets. Plus, I don't like the Jets. If I lose credibility by not getting it right, I'm just say, well, hatred drove me to be blind. Right. So that's it, guys.
Oh no, you got your rant.
Oh yeah, anybody got a rant? Anybody got a rant?
Man. Trevor does. Oh, but he's not talking. You're on mute, Trevor.
You're on mute.
Yeah. I have a rant. So really quick.
Oh, no worries. Hold on. I'm gonna take
Trevor. It's your moment.
Okay. My rant is going to go to New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. I don't have a problem with Aaron Rodgers. I have a problem with him right now. Aaron Rodgers is obviously got hurt early in the middle of the season, but you've been hearing a lot from him in New York media every single week. You know, he just has everything he wants to say, and that's good for him. My problem is with him and the delusional sports media in New York saying that, hey, if Aaron Rodgers should play the last couple of games, even if they are in contention because they want to see what they got from him, why? Why do you want to see Aaron Rodgers so badly for him? The Jets are not going to be in contention. Why would you want him, a 40-year-old man, to come out there and play football and play meaningless football for? For what? So you can see, or you can see what you could have had this season. No. Don't waste your time. Stop with this false hope of trying to have this man come over here for what? Secondly speaking, the Jets. But the whole thing going on with Zach Wilson. Listen, this whole thing should be kept privately, and whoever leaked it is crap. But then again, the Jets are a very organized franchise anyway. So I'm just tired of the Jets being in the media, being all in the headlines for Aaron Rodgers for a person who's not playing. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't get why we have to hear from them every single week. I don't get it. Aaron Rodgers just rehab, come out next year and keep it moving. I just don't want to hear what you have to say right now. I really don't. But that's just me.
Yeah. There you go. Rant away, man. Rant away. I did my pussification media rant early on, and then we'll close.
You absolutely did. Right?
And we'll close it up with the rant about Rodgers and the Jets. Guys, thank you. Most of all, I got to thank everybody who stayed and all the commenters, and especially Pride with the $25,000 question. Had poor Trevor and me sweating, shaking in our boots. I appreciate everybody, what you guys do. I miss Kev, miss Juan. Hopefully see them both soon. Guys, I appreciate everything. Tommy, I'm going to do a Tommy here. Tommy, tell us where we can find you.
So real quick, everybody that's still left in Pride and all you guys, all you Dolphin, people that are Curtis's channel right now watching, we do this every weekend at 6:00 on Saturdays, and we alternate channels. So next weekend, we're going to be on Sports Jedi Network, Saturday, 6:00. The time doesn't change. And then the following Saturday is going to be back on Mafia Sports Report. So what you want to do is you want to definitely subscribe to Mafia Sports Report and Sports Jedi Network so you don't miss the AFC East Shakedown, because we alternate week in, week out. And yeah, you can find me on Mafia Sports Report. Now the link should be in Curtis's you should be in Curtis's channel as well. So other than that, that's it. That's where you can find me.
What he said. I'm hungry. I'm eating my food over here. Dying. Go into diabetic shock over here.
Yeah.
Trevor, where can we find you?
You can find us on Facebook. Right now, we have a Facebook group, Sports Dynasty on Facebook. Just check us out there and be a part of the conversation.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Tommy, thank you for starting this whole thing up and bringing me along. Guys, thank you for everything. Great. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Bills fans, your game on Sunday. And then everybody, I know Bills fans, we're all going to enjoy Monday night when the Dolphins go to 10-3. Guys, thank you for everything. Everyone be well, be safe, and see you all soon.
Go Bills.